Hello?
Hi, Sid. How you doing, mate?
Good, man. I know you wanted to pass the condolences to the ones that were suffering in Durban because of the load, because of the floods and all that.
Sincere condolences to all those that have lost loved ones. It's been a difficult week, hey? We've seen some things in the news that been really, really horrific, hey? We haven't seen in a long time. So, our sincere, deepest condolences to all those that have lost loved ones, and I hope they, I hope they can rise from this. And I think it's time for us to all, help wherever we can. As a community, get our communities back, get our province back running. It's time for us to unite as one. Uh,
Mm.
it's like when coronavirus came along, and we had to unite and come together. So
Mm.
this is also a reason for us to unite and come together. So I mean, yeah, God bless KZN, and uh, let's hope we move on from this.
Yeah, man. Good you times.
Kariuk times. Yeah, happy Easter to you, mate.
Yeah, you too, man. You too, you too, you too. Yeah, man. Yeah, with all the depression happening, I even forget it's Easter.
Absolutely. Hey, yeah, you're kind of taken back from it, hey?
Yeah. Okay, so enough of. Yeah, man, I know it was important to get out of the way, but let's get down to the cricket. That's what probably gets people to feel a bit more cheerful, especially if they're cricket fans. Okay, so we get to South Africa and Bangladesh. I know it was all expected. We had beat them 2-0, but considering I had my, let's say, little issues because it was like a B team, but considering Bangladesh lost quite convincingly to our B team, I can only imagine if we had our A team, how worse it would have been. So, but it's good in a way. At least our spinners got to shine. And I think these types of pitches weren't so overly spinner friendly here. I think they were fair pitches. And Keshav got man of the series, so many more to him hopefully in the future.
Yeah, and this performance is something we've been crying out for a very long time from the Proteas. I mean, this was a ruthless performance with bat and ball. They completely outplayed. I think the last Test match in Durban, they were probably short in a few departments, especially the batting. But I think this
Hmm.
Test match, I mean, if you look at the contributions, right up from the top to the middle order, right down to the bottom with Keshav, I mean, top scoring with 84. That was superb. I think that innings alone just took the game away
Hmm.
from
Hmm.
Bangladesh, because I mean, as opposed to getting bowled out for 350 and bowled out for 450, I mean, you're looking at a 100-run difference, and
Yeah.
that really set them back. But I mean, you mentioned the two spinners. I mean, they were superb bowling in tandem. Eh? I'm very impressed with Keshav in the series. I think he was by far the most outstanding player. And Hammer, I mean, it's fantastic to see him back in the setup. I mean, a callback export and coming back to our shows, and showing that he's a much better bowler than what he was when I last saw him, like 6 years ago, six,
Hmm.
7 years ago. He's really improved as a bowler.
Yeah.
His control
One
is
way.
exceptional. His
Hmm.
control is really exceptional. I mean, he offers something with the bat as well. I think he's really
Hmm.
improved in the batting department as well. So,
Hmm.
I mean, you're looking at a full package, and I think this is a fantastic headache for the selectors to have at the moment, because you've got two spinning all rounders, essentially bowling all rounders, that can actually
Cricket
offer a
bat.
lot with the bat as well.
Yeah.
So, there's a few IPL players that are looking at this and thinking to themselves, you know what, I've really got to play well to stay in this team, because there's a lot of healthy competition around it. And
Hmm.
yeah, I mean, I've been really impressed with Elgar's captaincy. I think he's kept the pressure from Kingsmead. I mean, in that fourth innings, I mean, South African bowlers were all over Bangladesh. they kept that pressure in this test match over 2 innings, and it's really refreshing to see spinners winning test matches for the Proteas. And
Yeah.
I mean, as you said with the ball, I mean, really refreshing, and I've been quite impressed with these two venues, Kingsmead and St. George's. I think they've been very good true test wickets. It's not something we've seen recent times, because a lot of matches were played in the Highveld and in Cape Town, so we didn't really see those sort of true pitches. And I'd say kudos to the groundsmen and the ground staff. They've really produced two fantastic cricket wickets.
Yeah, I was thinking like that Port Elizabeth pitch especially should be like a template. Should be like a template, because it may have looked like it was a spinner's paradise, but it wasn't really. Like if you do all of your bowling, you got the ball to move around. So I think it was perfect. I mean, I think Durban was questionable, but it was a lot better than the other pitches I've been seeing in South Africa. So I think that's why I always say if you have good pitches, the batsman can shine. Hence, the batsman shone in Port Elizabeth. So although I think Durban, there were runs there, so I don't think it was so bad. So I think, yeah, I think it's a template for the rest of the matches. I don't know if they'll follow that template, but they should. Especially the Port Elizabeth pitch, that's for sure.
Yeah, I think we need to move on from this Otis Gibson mindset of spicy pitches, and we need to start preparing pitches that are going to give something to the batters and to the bowlers. And I think the batters have been on the receiving end for quite some time now with these spicy decks. So this is a real test for, as you say, better pitches. And I mean, I've always been a fan of the Australian pitches, because the Australian pitches are really, is prepared for really good scores if you really apply yourself. And there's something in it for the spinners. Day 4, day 5, and always something in for the seamers, which is essentially what you want from a test match pitch. You want the ball to be, spinning off the deck with the pitch deteriorating on day 4 and day 5. And I think we got it in these two test matches. And I mean, we've created some depth in the team as well with these performances. And like I said, there's a few IPL players that are looking over their shoulders now and trying to figure out how they're going to stay in the side. Yeah, they've really got to play out of their skins to remain in the Protea setup. But I've been really impressed with Elgar's captaincy. Like I said, I love his approach. Aggressive, and always going out always going out to win. Always going out to win, and just applying the brakes when you've got a team down. That ruthlessness we haven't seen in a long time from the Proteas lineup. So it's good things. It's good things to come, eh? And after this, geez, I really fancy our chances in England, eh? I really do fancy our chances in England. And before we started this podcast, I just saw an article pop up on Sky Sports about Joe Root, relinquishing the Test captaincy. And I think I saw this coming. This definitely was inevitable. Looking at the last couple of months and how this England team has performed. So
he resigned. Okay, wow, that's good. That's good news for England.
He stepped down as captain. Captain. Yeah, right. He stepped down as captain. So they're obviously looking for a new captain. So the Poms are in a bit of a pickle at the moment, Sid. So we got to fancy our chances.
Yeah, but I think in England's case, if they can get a captain ASAP and they can give him a bit of time to settle in, it may not be too bad. But if they take too long, then it will be. But either way, it's not easy. New captain. Although, if you remember Kevin Peterson, when he captained against us for the very first time, very first match, he did well. So we shouldn't really take it as a guarantee. But yes, I think it'll be more toward our favor, but I wouldn't want to write off the Poms, especially at home. That Duke's ball swing goal corners, and I feel our batting is still a work in progress. I still feel our batting like a work in progress, but our bowling is getting there. So I'm being more like on the cautious side. I don't want to get overexcited, get disappointed like how India did in South Africa. So I'd rather be safe than sorry.
Look, I agree with you. I think you're looking at two batting lineups that are a bit, I'd say a bit in transition. So you're essentially looking at two brittle batting lineups in that Test series. It's definitely the bowling lineups that are going to swing it in whoever's direction. But I do feel the Proteas are a little more settled than this England side of the moon. If you look at
Yeah.
the number of players that chopped and changed, and I mean that horrendous decision to leave out Broad and Anderson for the Caribbean tour, I think that really backfired on them. And look, I can see them coming back. I can see them coming back in the summer. And yeah, I mean, they're always a force to be reckoned with at home.
Yeah,
I'm not denying that.
Yeah, and I think Joe Root will be awesome with the bat now that, I think Joe Root will be even more awesome with the bat now that they're no longer captain. So beware, it will not be easy. Although it's not a one-man team, it's going to be a collective effort. So,
absolutely, it will not be a one-man team, but I do feel, looking at this current Poms lineup, we've got to fancy our chances if we get our bowling attack, our main bowling attack back. And I mean, if you add Keshav and Harmer into that mix, I mean, you've got a formidable lineup in terms of the bowling. The batters, obviously, they've just got to do their thing. I mean, they've just got to apply themselves. Like they did in this Test series, they just got to go there and apply themselves. I think a score of 300, 350 is quite competitive in England. But you don't really have to score 400 plus or 500 in England. 300, 350, you've got runs on the board. I think you can put batting lineups.
I think ideally 350 to 400 should be perfect. Or I'm not saying ideally, but it's a pass score 350. Anything less than 350, I think you're kind of handing the advantage. But anyways, let's get to the IPL. Okay, we'll start off with the matches that happened last weekend. Chennai versus Sunrisers. Bit of a surprise. Sunrisers winning this by 8 wickets, 155 for 2. Your quick thoughts on that one?
Yeah, I think CSK were a bit short with runs here in this game. I think a score were about 180, 190 would probably been a winning score, I would say. But I think they were also a bit flat in the bowling as well, because I mean, if you look at that partnership between Williamson and what is the other opener?
Oh, Williamson. Hold on a second. Just trying to open this attachment. Williamson, and you're referring to Abhishek Sharma?
Sharma, that's it, Abhishek. Yeah, Williamson and Abhishek, I mean, that partnership just set the tone, and I think it was a comfortable win for them. So, I mean, not much I can say about that performance in CSK. I think they were completely outplayed. But, I mean, there were signs in that game that they were getting better as well, especially with the bat.
Okay. All right. We'll get to Mumbai Indians versus your team. Convincing, 7-wicket win. Enough said.
Yeah, I mean, the funny thing about this game that Mumbai actually started quite well, and I think they just lost their way there in the middle overs. If you look at the start, they probably would have been, targeting, say, 180, 190, even 200. But, I mean, they fell well short in the end. And, I mean, that sort of score was never going to trouble this RCB batting lineup, especially with the depth in batting that they do have this season. And, I mean, a fantastic innings from the youngster, Rawat. And, I mean, Kohli chipped in there as well. So, all good. I think, comfortable win for RCB in the end. Clinical.
Okay, and then it gets to Daredevil. This is my team on KKR. This was actually on a Sunday, and KKR put them into bats, which in hindsight was a bit silly, especially for an early afternoon game. 250 for 5 and 171 all out, and a 44-run win. So, your thoughts?
Yeah, we've seen a lot of games like this where a team's batting second has struggled in their games, and that should have been like a template for KKR to have a bat first. But I think they probably went with the norm here and seen a lot of sides chase it down. But I mean, the score that DC put up was quite a formidable score, and would trouble most batting lineups if the bowling lineup bowled decently, which is what DC did. I think
Hmm.
I think it was one too many in the end for KKR to chase on that day. It probably needed a really really good opening stand. I'd say somewhere between
Hmm.
80 and 100 to set the platform, and then they could their powerful middle order would have came in and just expressed themselves. But I think lost a few early wickets, and yeah,
Hmm.
they were always behind the game. Hey, I mean, Russell tried at the end there, just ran out of partners, unfortunately.
Yeah.
And DC actually needed this sort of performance, because they looked a
Hmm.
bit flat in the last couple of games, and yeah, obviously they started the tournament off quite well. Uh, this batting lineup looks quite strong for DC. So it can worry of an opposing captain when they really
Hmm.
on the money. They can really destroy teams with a bat, and we saw it that opening
Yeah.
stand with Warner and Shaw. I think those two players really complement themselves. They're really attacking players. They don't give you a lot of dot balls. So yeah, you really got to be wary of this DC side, especially in the batting lineup.
Hmm.
They could look quite formidable.
Yeah, and a final note, I just think KKR got the text all wrong. I mean, they could have put Rane batting for later, more as a finishing touch, just to add the finishing few runs, and putting Ryan opening the batting wouldn't have done them any harm. So anyway, that's my final take on that match. Then
I just want to
there's
add something. I just want to add something.
okay.
I mean,
Mm-hmm.
I'm looking at Rahane, and his scores haven't been too good at the moment. Hey,
Hmm.
haven't
Hmm.
really been that you'd expect from an opener. So
Hmm.
I wouldn't be surprised if they would probably switch things around for the next game, because it seems like Rahane is not really himself at the opening position. And I mean, where
Yeah.
else do you play a player like Rahane? I mean, he's an accumulator.
Hmm.
Uh, I wouldn't be surprised if KKR go the attacking route and probably drop Rahane and bring in someone else to really boost that run rate, and
Hmm.
take a little bit pressure off a guy like Venki. I mean, who's always attacking, but I mean,
Yeah.
you can't always rely on one man.
Hmm.
You're going to have your good days, you're going to have your bad days. Unfortunately, that's part and
Hmm.
parcel of the game. You got to accept it. But
Hmm.
I think it's good when you got both players really attacking from both, and it really gives
Hmm.
your team a lot more confidence
Hmm.
to post a formidable score or chase any score that the opposition makes.
Yeah. Okay. We get to Rajasthan Royal and Lucknow Super Giants. This margin of defeat is pretty flattering because I think Rajasthan Royals had it. Uh, Actually, no, the Rajasthan Royals won this by 3 runs actually. So I think Stoinis is playing for the Lucknow Super Giants, isn't it?
Absolutely, and this was a thrilling game. Really
Yeah.
enjoyed this game. Hey, I think Rajasthan, they got to a pass score, and I mean a lot of analysts were looking at the score at halftime, and and saying that they're probably a bit short, but I mean, boy, did they fight with the ball. Yeah, they really fought with the
Yeah.
ball, and I think Chahal was really superb again in this game. He really turned the screws, especially in that
Yeah.
middle overs. But I mean, boy, oh boy, come at the man, come at the hour. Stoinis, I have to say, really played a gem at the end there. And at
Yeah.
one moment, I really thought he was going to steal this win, because he was
Yeah. I think
really
they.
muscling those pitchers.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I think they got the batting order wrong, eh? Stoner should have come in earlier. I don't know what they were smoking with that batting order. So I think they should have won this match. I think they, given a game there. But just my opinion.
I concur with whatever you're saying. I really do think Stoinis should have been coming at number 6. I think he
Oh,
was
even
really
number three
wasted.
or number four. Yeah, number 6 is just a
Yeah,
waste, man.
Jordan,
I think that's what I'm saying. This
look,
margin of defeat is very flattering, for them. I mean, they deserve to lose a lot more for such stupidity with batting order, but it is what it is.
yeah, I mean, look, Stoinis is probably a right-hand version of, say, a Lance Klusner. He needs a few balls to get in, but once he's in,
Hmm.
I think he can hit sixes at will. So, yeah, they really messed up that batting lineup, I feel.
Hmm.
And I mean, look, I guess they wanted to keep him down the order because I mean he's obviously that finishing role.
Hmm.
But I won't be surprised if he backs up the order in the next game because, as you say, it was a tactical blunder.
Hmm. Very big blunder. But anyway, we'll get to Gujarat and the Sunrisers. And yeah, Sunrisers seem to be doing something right because they've had another win here, which was against the Titans by 8 wickets. I've noticed that these sort of scores suit Sunrisers. Anything more than 160, I think, would have been tricky for them. So good stuff for them.
Yeah, I mean, winning two in a row. I think the one thing with Sunrisers you can expect is a good bowling attack, and so I mean that is their strength, and it's been a strength for a very long time, and we saw it in this game here, restricting
Mm.
the Gujarat Titans. But yeah, I think a few drop catches along the way for the Gujarat as well really helped their cause as well. They could have
Mm.
they could have made it a little
Mm.
bit more difficult. I think the fielding in this game was really poor. Really wasn't up to standard. I mean, if you look at the number of drop
Mm.
catches, it was
Yeah.
I'd say quite horrendous, and some
Mm.
real dollies, real sitters, you know, regulation
Mm.
catches were dropped in this game. So from a I think from a quality point of view, this game didn't really wasn't at its best. Really
Mm.
average fielding.
Mm.
Uh, yeah, I think it's a game of lost chances. This I would say, Sid. But I mean, a good performance from Sunrisers. They really back their batting up with a fantastic bowling performance against a really powerful Gujarat batting lineup.
Yeah. I think it was their first defeat, so I guess that's okay. I know Hardik Pandya showed a few, let's say, flaws when things are not going his way, but I guess that's what happens, when you're a young captain, you learn these things.
Absolutely, that's how you grow as a captain. You got to make mistakes on the job, and you try and you try and get better at it as time goes on.
Okay, we get to the next match. I know this match really upset you a bit. CSK and RCB, 260 for 4. Chennai and your team were just short by 23 runs. I thought the margin is going to be a lot bigger. So I think this margin of defeat is not bad for you all because it doesn't affect the net run rate too much. I think it was a much needed win for CSK actually because it's good for the competition. I know you don't want to hear that, but it was pretty much like a funeral watching Chennai and Mumbai losing like this, left, right, center.
Yeah, I mean, I was really looking forward to this game. I really thought, RCB would come to the party, and it was a depressing 24 hours, I think, with the heavy rains that we had the day before. And I mean, watching this game as well, yeah, a bit of an underwhelming performance from RCB, especially with the ball. I think they let it slip there, really big time. They really let it slip. I mean, I got to give credit to a guy like Dubé. I mean,
Mm, mm,
he's really showing his talent with the bat now. And
mm,
Utapa as well played a fantastic innings. That was
mm,
probably the partnership that took it away from RCB because,
mm,
as Fafi
mm,
alluded, they were quite good with the ball up until the 10th over. And I think after the 11th over, all hell broke
mm.
loose and there were sixes flying all over. So,
Yeah.
I mean, CSK, they played this game quite smartly. They batted quite
Yeah.
intelligently. And I think with the ball, I mean, that score, it's going to trouble the best of teams, but
Mm,
probably RCB could apply themselves a little bit better. I think a decent opening stand, would have probably got them
mm.
over the line here the way Karthik batted towards the end. I think there was,
Yeah.
I think it was one too many for him. But I mean,
Mm,
193. Uh, I mean, I don't want to shy away from the win, but it also
yeah.
shows depth in batting from
Mm,
RCB. They can still lose the game, and still score like 190 plus, which is quite impressive as well.
Mm,
So I'm hoping for
mm.
better things in the next game.
Yeah, I think the pitch may is, I would say, kind of suited Chennai in the sense that it did grip, it did spin. So I think Chennai wouldn't mind these types of pitches for the next remaining games because I like the tactics opening with spin. I think this is where I feel now we get to the next one, Punjab and Mumbai. I felt Mumbai should have done this against Punjab, open with spin because nothing is working with them with space. They should rather just open with spin, and they went short. Punjab won by 12 runs, so I think, oh man, but Brevis and Tadak, oh, what batting! I really enjoyed Brevis. What a shame he didn't make even close to 100, little on 100, even to get to 50. So unlucky.
Yeah, I think the best thing about this game was the batting of Beavers. I think it was superb. I mean, what was it? Three fours and five sixes. I mean,
Hmm.
fantastic
29
batting from the
runs
young
off Chahar. Yeah, 29 runs of Chahar. And that was lovely to watch.
Shah. I think it was four sixes in a row at one stage. So I
Yeah.
mean, this is a talent that is potentially on the cards for the national team in years to come.
Hmm.
And I hope they protect him and try and get the best out of him because
Yeah.
this was actually a blueprint to see what he's capable of in IPL. And I mean to hit international bowlers
Yeah.
uh, out of the park, four sixes in a row. That is quite some feat. But yeah, it's been a sorry tale for Mumbai this IPL. Hey,
Yeah.
making too many runs and just not cutting it with a bat. So that's been their
Yeah.
problem. They I think their depth is being tested severely now, Sid. I mean, five
Hmm.
losses in a row. I
Yeah.
really thought this was probably would have targeted to win. So
Yeah.
it
But I
really comes
think,
down to change of
yeah.
personnel.
But I think if you, I
You
think Mumbai,
change of
but if,
personnel.
if, but if you looked at the history of IPL, right, of every mega auction, Mumbai pretty much start like this. And I think they have lost five in a row, and I think they won the IPL. I don't know what years that is. But if they did it again this year, then I take my hat off to them, but I don't think so this year. And neither do I think so for
Uh,
Chennai.
but you're forgetting they had Malinga in those days, and they don't have Malinga anymore. So Malinga was a
Oh
real
yeah.
weapon for Mumbai, especially in this close
Oh
game.
yeah.
So
Oh yeah. Oh
fortunately, they
yeah.
don't have that sort of quality anymore. So uh,
Hmm.
I can't see them doing
Hmm.
it this time around. I think qualifying for the playoffs is looking quite unlikely at the moment. So they got to see what they can do, and they got to try and finish the competition on a high.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean one of the great franchises of IPL, and they've really been
Yeah.
a shadow of what in the past.
Oh. Okay. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay. Okay. We'll get to the match that happened yesterday. The Titans versus Rajasthan Royals. Good win by the Titans by 37 runs. And yeah, nice to see them bouncing back. Titans, one of my favorite teams, one of my new favorite teams this year. So hopefully they keep it up, make the playoffs, and anything can happen from there.
Yeah, this betting lineup for the Titans is quite powerful, eh? I mean, if you look at the top three, top four, they're quite solid batters. The likes of Wade, the likes of Gill, you got Hardik, uh, and you got Miller as well. So yeah, they've got it
Mm.
all. And yeah, I think one too many runs for Rajasthan in the end, and my battery is about to die at the moment. So uh,
Okay, fine. Yeah,
yeah,
okay, fine.
it
Let's
was a
do
fantastic
this. But
yeah.
yeah, okay,
And
fine. Let's do
yeah,
these.
I mean,
Yeah.
enjoy the upcoming fixture, Sid, and I hope your team well, and I hope RCB can.
Okay. Okay.